Attention passionate Chicago, Bears fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Chicago Bears' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Chicago Bears fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Chicago Bears fans. Let's get to the news alright. Bears fans, buckle up because there's some recent movement that might not seem huge on the surface. But when you look closer, it reveals a lot about the team's strategic direction heading into this crucial season. On August 27th, the Chicago Bears hit the waiver wire, and what they came away with might seem modest, but it's actually quite telling in terms of how they're shaping their roster for success. They added two familiar faces to their defense, linebacker DeMarco Jackson and cornerback Jaylon Jones. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, these aren't household names, right? But don't underestimate the significance of these moves, especially considering what each player brings to the table and how they fit into the bigger picture of this team's current ambitions and future outlook. Let's start with DeMarco Jackson. He's a 27-year-old linebacker who was a fifth-round pick from Appalachian State in 2022. Not just any rookie, though Jackson made a splash in college, earning the title of Sun Belt Defensive Player of the Year back in 2021. That's no small feat. When he was picked up by the New Orleans Saints, he quickly became known for his special teams prowess, logging an impressive 382 snaps on special teams alone in 2023. Over the past couple of seasons, he's appeared in 27 games, showing his durability and versatility. Jackson's athleticism is one of his biggest assets. He's got good speed, agility, and the ability to cover ground quickly, which is vital in today's NFL, especially at the linebacker position. But what makes Jackson even more intriguing for the Bears is his familiarity with Dennis Allen's defensive system. Allen, as you all know, is the head coach of the Saints, and Jackson played under him during his time in New Orleans. That's a big plus because Allen's defenses are known to be multiple, meaning they toggle between different fronts, sometimes four-man fronts, sometimes more exotic looks like over-under alignments. Jackson has already operated within this system, so his transition to the Bears' defense should be smoother. This familiarity allows him to get up to speed faster, especially on sub-packages and special teams, where he's already proven he can excel. Expect Jackson to be a day-one contributor on special teams, probably a four-phase guy, involved in kickoff, punt, kick return, and coverage teams. And with a little luck, he could carve out a more significant role in the linebacker rotation, competing with guys like Noah Sewell and Ruben Hippolyte II for snaps. The coaching staff clearly values versatility and special teams impact, and Jackson fits that mold perfectly. Now, shifting gears to Jaylon Jones, another 27-year-old who's returning to familiar territory. Jones, an undrafted player from Texas A&M, spent his first 3 seasons in the NFL with the Bears. During that time, he showed promise as a solid role player, registering 85 tackles, 4 pass breakups, and forcing a fumble across 5 starts before a shoulder injury in 2024 cut his season short after just 8 games. He finished that season with 15 tackles and 2 pass breakups before he was released by the Bears and picked up by the Arizona Cardinals in March. However, with the Cards not making his final roster, Chicago swooped in again, bringing him back into the fold. What does Jones bring to the table? Well, he's known as a reliable depth corner, someone who can cover both outside and in the slot. His rookie season was quite productive, with 40 tackles, 2 pass breakups, and a forced fumble, showcasing that he can hold his own when targeted and finish plays in front of him. He's not expected to be a full-time starter, but as a 4th or 5th corner, he's a very valuable role player, especially in dime packages or kick coverage units. And here's a big factor: Jones's familiarity with the Bears' coaching staff, especially with Al Harris, the defensive pass game coordinator and secondary coach. Harris has a proven track record of developing aggressive, ball-hawking cornerbacks, and his influence can be a real boost for Jones's development. Plus, Harris's coaching style emphasizes technique and aggressive play, which could elevate Jones's game even further. Adding Jones gives the Bears a solid depth option at corner, which is crucial given how competitive and physically demanding the NFL has become at that position. You don't want to be caught short-handed, especially in a division like the NFC North, where teams like the Vikings, Lions, and Packers all have explosive passing attacks. Having a dependable depth corner like Jones, who can step into multiple roles, provides flexibility and peace of mind for the coaching staff. It also shows that Chicago is serious about shoring up their secondary, especially after the injury setback last season. Now, you might be asking, why these particular moves? What's the big picture? Well, first, it's about roster stability. The Bears didn't enter this cut-down week with glaring holes, but they recognized the need to add depth, especially in the middle of the defense and the back end. Jackson enhances their linebacker core with his speed and familiarity with the defensive scheme, giving them more options to rotate and cover the field effectively. Meanwhile, Jones reinforces the secondary, providing the team with reliable depth and a player who can contribute immediately without requiring a lengthy learning curve. This is a team that's been steadily building, trying to find the right balance between youth and experience, and these signings reflect a smart, measured approach. They're not chasing big-name veterans just for the sake of headlines. They're targeting players who fit their scheme, who know the system, and who can step in and perform when called upon. It's a smart move, especially considering how crucial special teams are in the NFL. Jackson's role on special teams will likely be significant, and Jones's experience and familiarity with the coaching staff give him a strong shot at making the 53-man roster, or at least being the first corner elevated if the team needs him. And I think this points to something bigger, what the Bears are trying to do this season. They're clearly aiming to be competitive, to push for the playoffs, and maybe even make some noise in January. Building depth in key areas, especially on defense, is a strategic move that can pay off in close games, where special teams and situational football often decide the outcome. Plus, with a coaching staff led by head coach Matt Eberflus, who emphasizes discipline and situational awareness, having versatile players like Jackson and Jones fits perfectly into their game plan. Looking at the season ahead, Chicago fans have plenty of reasons to be optimistic. The offense is still a work in progress, but the defense, especially with these additions, is shaping up to be more stable and capable of making big plays. The linebackers, with Jackson's athleticism, might see more opportunities to disrupt opposing offenses. Meanwhile, the secondary, with Jones back in the fold, can focus on developing cohesion, especially with Harris's coaching influence. This kind of roster flexibility and depth can be the difference maker in a league where injuries and unexpected situations are part of the game. And let's not forget the overall context of the NFC North. The division is as competitive as ever, with each team having its strengths. The Lions are looking formidable, the Packers are always tough, and even the Vikings have added some weapons to challenge the status quo. For Chicago, maintaining a strong, flexible roster is essential if they want to rise above the pack. These recent moves, although modest, are part of a broader strategy to stay competitive and keep pushing forward. It's about building a roster that can adapt, that can fight through injuries, and that can perform in high-pressure situations. In the end, it's not just about the individual players. Though Jackson and Jones are important pieces, it's about what these moves say about the Bears' mindset. They're serious about improving, about filling every possible gap, and about creating a roster that's not only talented but also resilient. As fans, you should be excited because these additions could be the foundation for some key moments this season. Whether it's a crucial third down stop, a game-changing special teams play, or simply providing the depth needed to navigate a tough schedule, Jackson and Jones are now part of that story. So, as we look ahead to the upcoming games, the battles in the trenches, and the special teams plays that can turn the tide, keep an eye on these two players. They might not be the headline stars, but their contributions, especially in a team striving for excellence, could be more impactful than you think. The Bears are making smart, strategic moves, and that's exactly what you want to see from a team with ambitions of making a deep playoff run. With these signings, they're sending a message. They're building a team that's ready to compete, to adapt, and to fight for every inch on the field. And now, Chicago Bears fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Chicago Bears. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Chicago Bears news. Whether it's roster moves, game previews, or player analysis, I'll keep you in the loop because you're part of this passionate community. Thanks for watching, and as always, bear down.